President Gorbachev resigns. The red flag of communism is lowered over the Kremlin for the last time. Yeltsin takes control over the new Russian Federation. And the world's largest and most influential socialist state has fallen. For years, the USSR has dominated the globe. The Soviet Union's military, political and economic grip on the world has seemed unshakable to this day. We now have reports confirming that the Soviet Union has fallen. We'll report live from Mark Smith from the scene. Mark, how did this great nation come to this stage?
Well, Sarah, there are three main reasons that have caused this collapse. The economic stagnation, the new reforms established in the country by Gorbachev, and personal conflicts between Gorbachev and Yeltsin. This is all a process of systematic disintegration. However, no one knows what is going to happen in the future.
In March 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev was appointed leader of the Soviet Union, a superpower in crisis, sick with social breakdown, corruption, and an economy at standstill.
Yeah, when Gorbachev became the president of the Soviet Union, he decided to introduce reforms in the country and adjusted the old system. The reforms that Mikhail Gorbachev introduced in the Soviet Union had a revolutionary effect on the country. They changed the Soviet Union in profound ways. Perestroika was a change in economic system and translates into redo. The other reform, Glasnost, means the beginning of openness, reduction of censorship, and introducing elections from the factories all the way to the top.
The freedom to think, to express opinions, to take initiative in various fields, the arts, the economy, and so on.
Glasnost was a radical break from years of suppression and censorship. However, the problem with Glasnost was that once the media was really allowed to dig into criticism, it didn't stop with just criticizing individuals. It went back first to Stalin and then to Lenin. Once the public started undermining the memory of Lenin, there was really nothing left. Without Lenin, the Communist Party and the Soviet Union itself had no real basis. The second reform, Perestroika, was attempting to deeply transform the economic system and increase the growth by moving a little closer to market economy.
The state of the Soviet Union and its society could be described very simply with a phrase used by people across the country. We can't go on living like this any longer. That applied to everything. The economy was stagnating, there were shortages, and the quality of goods was very poor.
Soviet's economy had been heavily stagnating for over 2 decades under the former leader Brezhnev's rule. But the consequences of Perestroika were devastating. Primarily, Perestroika did not succeed because the government still decided the prices. This undermined the main principle of market economy, of letting the market set the price.
Let them film. What kind of glasnost is there in this country?
I am a pensioner, he is a pensioner, and the children need meat.
Just tell us, will there be meat today?
There will be, but you have to wait.
The planned economy means that the state has directed the economy themselves. The government has controlled the industry, thus deciding the production and distribution of goods and services. This has led to very limited goods in the store, as we can see here, and with very, very low prices and absolutely endless queues. What do you say about this?
No, stoi tutaj w sklepie i nie ma niczego. Muszę żyć na tym sklepie przez cały miesiąc, no. Co ja mogę zrobić, no? Cały miesiąc tutaj będę stał i będę tylko żył na tym cholernym.
The disagreement between Gorbachev and Yeltsin was another key factor in the collapse of the Soviet Union. The passionate dislike and hostility that developed between the two leaders made compromise difficult and accelerated the collapse of the Union. Furthermore, this conflict was stimulated when Yeltsin led the resistant coup in 1991 and decided to distance himself from the party and emerged as an opposition leader.
Did all these three factors play an equal part in the collapse, or did one weigh heavier than the others?
In my professional opinion, it was through the combination of these factors that one of the largest superpowers fell. Nevertheless, despite the fact that the three elements walk hand in hand with each other in this equation, it was the stagnating economy that created the biggest impact. The progression of a market economy in the end of the 1980s undermined the previous system before the new had been built up. A well-functioning economy system is essential. At the time, this essentiality was failing the empire, causing the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Out with the old, in with the new. Tonight, the red flag over the Kremlin was lowered for the last time, replaced by the three colors of Russia. A country renamed and reborn, and now in the hands of Boris Yeltsin.